Hi, Seth Greene here again. Thanks for coming back. And I greatly appreciate you watching the first video. Obviously, you saw that video. That's how you got here with Mike Koenigs and myself. For those of you who don't know, Mike is a legendary internet marketer. Works with people like Tony Robbins, Dan Kennedy, Jeff Walker, Paula Abdul, other household names around the world and also in the field of marketing. And it was an extreme honor to be asked to be flown out there to work with Mike on his latest software launch. So it was a great experience. I was literally flew one day, was there that night, was there that morning, flew back the next day. That's how it was a total blur. But we got a ton of work accomplished. I felt like it was amazing that morning. The second morning, I literally had come up with an idea to bounce by Mike, and he said, I had to bounce it by like 3 or 4 other people in the company under Mike first. They all liked it. We bounced it to Mike. Mike said, okay, here's what I want you to do. Go write the copy. And by the way, and then we got to shoot the video. And by the way, you only have 30 minutes because you have to go catch a plane. So I felt like I was on, everyone came in and was watching me write copy on the whiteboard and outline the whole process like being on Survivor, a business Survivor, but it was great and I learned a ton. So today, what we're going to talk about in this video is a little bit more about how an automated perpetual marketing funnel can double your sales in 12 months. So who I am, my name, and how I got to be here and how I got to work with Mike, which was, again, an awesome experience. My name is Seth Greene, and I help folks like you, business owners, salespeople, entrepreneurs, all the way up to Fortune 500 companies, double their sales in 12 months. Now, it wasn't always like this. It didn't always work that way. I started out working for a Fortune 500 company, and that company, after the 6-month training program, literally the manager handed me a phone book, literally the yellow pages, and told me, good luck, go cold call and get some business. And I made 300 cold calls a day, every day, for years until I learned better. And how I learned better is my story and how I found this solution. And the challenge I faced was, how do I, at the time, a 22-year-old rookie in the business, get affluent business owners to take me seriously, to find me, to talk to me, to write us checks? How do I get all that to happen? How do I get in front of my ideal prospect or customer and get them to become a client without having to do all that manual labor of 300 cold calls a day or sending out mass market direct mail drive, trying to get people to come to a seminar, type of things like that. So that some of the common challenges that you may be facing is, you know what, how do we get more business? Either, you know, we have a sales staff or we don't. And if we don't, we really need to automate our marketing. And if we do, how do we get leads for those salespeople so that they're not outbound pushing themselves on the marketplace to people who don't want to talk to them in the first place? There obviously are a lot more challenges to getting more business and doubling your sales than that. All the stuff we're going to talk about, stuff you know you need to be doing, but you're either not doing because you don't have the manpower, the expertise, or the funds for to hire in-house staff to do it all. So we're going to get to all of that. But first I want to tell you how I learned this story, how I learned all this stuff. In my spare time, what little of it there is, I am a professional magician. That is one of my hobbies. And I bought I was reading a magic trade journal. Yes, there are trade journals for magicians. And I was reading a magic magazine, and there was an a full-page ad selling a marketing course for magicians, which I resonated with the ad. I bought the course, cost me I think $300 at the time, and I implemented what I learned in that course. Big lesson there. You actually have to do something with the information you're given. And I didn't change my magic show. I did not practice my tricks anymore. I did not get any better as a magician, but I doubled my prices and I got a lot better as a marketer and became busier than I ever had before. In fact, places that I had tried to get hired as an entertainer that had turned me down after receiving my new marketing hired me. Wasn't the magic show got any better, the marketing got better. So I went to the gentleman, Dave D., who sold me that course, and I said, do you think this would work in my real job? I work at this Fortune 500 company, here's what we do. Do you think this would work, this type of stuff would work for that? And he said, absolutely. I said, where did you learn it? And he said 2 words that changed my life. He said, Dan Kennedy, who is a legendary marketing coach, consultant, copywriter, one of the top names on the planet at doing what he does. and I think 13 best-selling books on the topic, and literally changed my life. I've had the good fortune to work personally with Dan for a number of years now, and in the first 2 years, he quadrupled our revenue. And then said, you need to start teaching other people. You need to not just grow what you're doing for them. You need to teach other business owners, sales professionals, executives, etc., how to do what you just did for your own business. So that started the business that you're watching right now, the apmfunnel.com, Automated Perpetual Marketing Funnel. So working with Dan taught me the secrets to direct response marketing. And then Dan led me to a number of other gurus in the niche, like Jeff Walker, who taught me the product launch formula, led me to Mike Koenig's, whose software we use to run parts of our automated perpetual marketing funnels that you're going to hear about as we go through this video series. So I've had the good fortune to work with a number of folks like that. I guess titans, I would call them in our industry. This style of marketing and the way we implement it has gotten us written about in 3 books, 2 of which I've got in front of me. This is And the Clients Went Wild, How Savvy Professionals Win All the Business They Want by Mary Beth Kuzmeski. This is The Connectors, How the World's Most Successful Business People Build Relationships and Win Clients for Life, also by Mary Beth Kuzmeski. But 9 on the #1 bestseller list on Amazon in 9 different categories. I was also in How to Use Other People's Money to Get Rich. And I was written about in several trade journals, along with Dan Kennedy writing about me in his No BS Info information marketing newsletter. So that's how I got here. Now the results of the solution, the automated perpetual marketing funnel solution, will literally double your sales in 12 months. Now we can make that claim because we have the ability using technology to track literally every lead we generate for you. Whether it's a phone call into a sales rep at your company, whether it's a hit on your website, whether it's someone bringing in a direct mail, whatever it is, we now have, with technology being what it is now, and the marketing automation software programs we use, we can literally track every single thing we do. We can literally track every penny, what you spend versus what we bring in. So we can literally tell you exactly what your ROI is, your return on investment. So that's how we know, because we've done a number of these obviously over the years, that if you implement one of these funnels, which consists of 133 steps that we execute for you over 12 months, we know we'll double your sales. Now, the old world of marketing was interruption marketing, where a business would take out giant ads on TV and blast during your interrupt your favorite show to try and get your attention to buy their product. Well, everybody's got TiVo and DVR now, or they're watching Netflix or Hulu. So most people aren't watching live television as much anymore. They're DVRing past those ads because they don't want to be interrupted. So that doesn't work. If you were like me when you started, God forbid you made cold calls, interrupting strangers during their dinner, or interrupting them at work and trying to get their attention to talk to you. And obviously there's the advent of the do not call list, which makes it much harder to call residential consumers at home. There's caller ID, there's call blocking, there's a number of mechanisms that consumers have now where to avoid you cold calling them other than just hanging up on you, which certainly happened to me. Old world would be, let's say, sending 15,000 invitations out to a seminar and hoping you could get 25 or 30 of those people to show up and come to your seminar where you made a sales pitch and got their attention by buying them dinner. So those are old world, or radio ads, old world mass market media that isn't really trackable and that costs way too much and has fewer eyeballs on it than ever before and doesn't really work the way it did 20, 30, 40 years ago. In 1950, there were 3 television networks. If you put you put an ad on NBC, everybody would see it. It doesn't work that way anymore. So what is the new world? The new world, as I define it, is automated micro-niche target marketing through a perpetual marketing funnel. So let me define what that means for you. A micro-niche target market consists of a very small number of people, maybe a couple hundred. So instead of going after 15,000 and using a machine gun to shoot one bullet each, it's all 15,000 people. What if you had a sniper rifle and you shot 5 bullets at 300 people? So you hit each person 5 times. Well, geez, you just hit them multiple times with a much more targeted message. So it cost you less because you didn't send out as many, and you were able to communicate to them in a much better way that they resonated with, so they respond a whole lot better. So a mass media target market, for example, would be for financial advisors. Well, they love to work with senior citizens who theoretically have the bulk of the money. So anyone over the age of 60 with $100,000 to invest in your town is theoretically a good prospect for them. That is incorrect. That is not a target market. There is nothing those people have in common other than having money and being over 60. So you can't really communicate to them effectively. So a micro niche target market would be and I am sort of notorious for helping some advisors work on this niche. When I started, Republican hunters over the age of 60 with over $100,000 to invest. Now instead of 15,000 in your town, there's 238. So now we know what their hobby and lifestyle and thought process are, a lot of it, because they're a Republican hunter. So we can specifically target our message exactly to what a Republican hunter's fears, hopes, and dreams are, so they will respond in a much better number. So the new world, the new world is Facebook. The new world is YouTube. The new world is LinkedIn. The new world is Twitter. There are billions of people literally worldwide, nationwide, who are in these social networks, on the internet, on Google, looking for you. But how are you going to get found? How are they going to know to go to your site or your business as opposed to someone else's? And then once they found, let's say they go to your website, how are you going to convince them to do business with you? A boring 5 to 10 page website about us, here's why we're great, our services, pictures of our staff. I mean, that's not going to cut it anymore. You need an interactive, multimedia, multi-step process that will get them to pull out their credit card and buy, which is what the new world is all about. Conversion, getting that prospect to raise their hand, self-select, identify themselves as interested in what you have to offer, and then following up with them in an automated way that takes no work on your part, that's run by computers, so that when they're ready to buy, you're the business, you're the person, you're the company they think of, and they are ready to buy from you. Because prospects are not ready to buy when you're ready to sell them something, they're ready to buy when they're ready to buy. And you have to stay in front of them so that they don't forget about you. It's not their job to remember you, it's your job to make sure they don't forget you. And you do that by staying in front of them until they're ready to make that buying decision. Some of the most common mistakes people make, business owners make, when trying to accomplish something like this, dramatically increase their sales in a short period of time. Throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks and not being able to track any of that. And going, well, business is up 15%, something must be working. Well, what's working? If you can't track it, you don't know. I think it was David Ogilvy, the legendary ad man and founder of the marketing firm that bears his name. It said, I know half of my marketing is wasted. I just don't know which half. Only the direct response guys can tell you. So if you're just spraying and praying, you'll have no way of measuring your investment. And it's very important that you know what your ROI is on every single step of every single marketing campaign, so you can get rid of the stuff that doesn't work and keep the stuff that does work and invest more in the stuff that is working. So common mistakes: spraying and praying, not using the right target market, not communicating the right message to the right target market, not using the right form of media for the target market. Here is an example. If my target market is 80-year-old arthritic widows, I'm not going to send them a small print, slick paper brochure. They won't be able to read the small print, and their arthritic fingers will have trouble turning the slick paper. So, I mean, that's kind of obvious, but I see it all the time. So you've got to think about that. Those are the 3 most common mistakes: wrong market, wrong message, wrong media. There's many others that we can talk about, but those are the 3 biggest ones. So what are the first thing you should do? I'll give you a freebie right now. For example, if you have marketing that is trying to drive people to call your office, make an appointment, or talk to a salesperson. Right now, one of the easiest things you can do, it's very cheap, is go to call8.com, K-A-L-L8.com. And this tip comes courtesy from one of my mentors, Robert Britton, who shared it with me. I used a different site before this, but this one is better. Call8.com allows you to get 800 numbers for tracking purposes for $2 a month per number. So for example, this is one of a postcard campaign we recently did for a client. This is the first one, and you'll notice this phone number, 1-888-223-6398. The second step in the postcard campaign has a different phone number on it. The third step in the postcard campaign has a different 800 number on it. And in the Call 888 website, we've set up each phone number is tied to each postcard, step 1, 2, or 3. So now we know which postcard they're calling from because there are 3 different numbers. And those numbers all forward to the business's main number. So the second the prospect dials the number, it instantly starts ringing at your phone. So your prospect notices no difference. But you now can see in the Call 8 site who called off of each card. We use a different Call 8 number for every direct mail piece. We use a Call 8 number, different Call 8 number for every different page on our websites. So literally, we use a different number for every single ad that we run anywhere, every single email that we send out driving you here. So for example, we can literally see the phone calls generated by each separate campaign and then run those numbers in our software and say, okay, who of those people bought? What was the ROI on that campaign? Should we do more of it or get rid of it? So that's the first thing you should do, is add a Call 8 number to every single piece of marketing you send out, whether it's direct mail, print, snail mail, internet, email. You could have a different Call 8 number on different TV ads or different radio ads. Different magazines that you run it, wherever you're advertising, add a different Call 8 number to every step of every campaign so that way you can tell exactly what you're getting from. The next thing you should do is stay tuned to your email inbox for future emails from me, because in a couple days we're going to release the next video where we're going to be going actually into the nuts and bolts. We're going to show you the mind map of an automated perpetual marketing funnel that shows all 133 steps we execute over 12 months. And we're going to get into talking about what some of those steps actually are so that you can go ahead, and if you don't have those steps, you can start implementing them on your own without any investment. Or if you don't have them and you don't know how to implement them, you can certainly talk to us about that. But stay tuned, because that's what we'll be sending you in the next couple days. Thanks so much for your time.